Trust Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapsters. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you?
I'm not actually looking for anyone. Let's hear a bit about the city.
So you come to Tapsters? I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view.
Well, is there any places I should see while I'm here?
The nobles stay upstairs, except when they're slumming. You'll find the assembly there, the palace, the Shaperate, and plenty of estates. Down from here is just Dust Town or the mines, so my recommendation is avoid. It's not part of the city, just some old tunnels where the castlists build their nest. No one goes there if they can help
it's not
it.
Lowtown, it's Dust
But
Town.
if you want fun,
Lowtown is in Dragon Age 2.
is the proving.
What's the proving?
It's a chance for all the best fighters in Orzammar to test their skills. There's a tournament today. Arenas between here and the Diamond Quarter.
I'm looking for someone.
Maybe I can help.
Looking for a man named Ordell.
He's the one in the corner, still dusty from the mines. Don't expect him to be chatty.
Thank you. I mean, I knew he was here. He has like an arrow right above his head.
What are you looking at, stranger?
Are you Ordell?
I could be. What business is it of yours?
You sound like a bitch. If you don't take Zerlinda back, she'll die.
What? You think she'd die just to keep that thing? She knows what she has to do to come home. I never wanted her gone. Just the little cur. Can't she see she'd have a better life if she got rid of it?
It's a baby, not a cur. And she loves him.
Look, just tell her... We never meant to hurt her. It just seemed best that... Oh, just tell her to come home. Her mother and I are waiting for her.
Nice. Nervous adventure.
Everywhere. I can't... What? Get away. You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends.
What are you talking about?
They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen and older than the ones in song. Dormant my ass. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
The Unbound. Is quest related? No. Oh, it is. Unbound. 3 weathered parchments, 3 versions of the same incomplete story. When his kingdom fell, so he disappeared. The stolen riches of an age, a beast, the Unbound, dormant until one true spirit claims his throne. This hunting hero of his people, the principal who search the eternal evil, so they can make a real difference. Scribbled in the corner, shake a hand, 3 pages, 3 ages, same story, updated. Same as the Terror song, but older. Signature torn on purpose, but compare to get Vilmadan. All from him. How? I
Told him I don't understand why the provings aren't open to
Wait,
everyone.
does that mean I have 2 of them? Means I'm just missing 1, right? Maybe. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me.
Let us proceed. There's a shop here too. I'm just gonna jump in quick.
Welcome to Jan Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Janar's, we have everything from leather to platinum.
Know anything happening with the king?
I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object.
Your father's smith's cast.
Aye, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But,
I hear pronounced
I'm guessing by your face,
cuirass?
you're not a smith
I
yourself.
thought it was cuirass. Nah, I guess I'm not sure.
That she was.
Wasn't Braca a smith?
The best to walk these tunnels since Carradine himself.
Threw it away.
Threw it away, chasing old dreams, though.
Yeah, she went crazy. Who's Carradine?
The best smith who ever lived, bar none. He gave us the secret of forging golems that could walk, talk, and defend our borders. When we had them, no dwarf had to risk himself against the Darkspawn. It was a golden age for the smith caste. His work was lost centuries ago when his tide fell to the Darkspawn. No one even knows where it is anymore.
What do you mean Braca threw it all away?
Didn't last 6 months as a noble before she set into the deep roads looking for ancient secrets. Now she's dead in the tunnels. All that brilliance, wasted.
That's if she's dead. Let me see what's in your
Of
store.
course. Keep in mind, we also take items on trade.
Knock knocker. Ooh, got some dragon bone here. Dwarven heavy gauntlets. Not bad. Just armor though. I mean, and a couple weapons, but personally, when you're playing on harder difficulties, you kind of need to focus on the weapons that actually give you stats and stuff. Like, sure, I could get a dragon bone shield, but this shield gives me just dex, strength, and con. You know, extra stats. Or Starfang. Sure, I could probably. I mean, Starfang is probably the best weapon in the game, but you know what I mean. Like, sure, I could probably get a Starfang was a bad example, but like, sure, you could get this weapon, but this weapon's clearly better, kind of deal. Dagna.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Yes, I do.
You look like you're not from around here.
Yes, you could say that.
Oh, wonderful. I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle?
The Circle of Magi?
I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study.
Why wouldn't they?
No dwarf has ever studied at the Circle of Magi. I guess you never read First Enchanter Caitlin's treatise concerning dwarfs and the non-heritability of magic. He tested dwarfs from 20 bloodlines and found they couldn't perform any level of spell casting, regardless of lyrium exposure or time on the surface. The Circle speculates that lyrium in the stone shields us from spiritual influences, and over time made us immune to them.
So what do you want to do with the Circle?
I want to go to the Circle to study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing.
I could bring the Circle your request.
That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the
We
Teventer
spoke
and
to your
Tyrians
dad
for
already.
Tigum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
The Unlikely Scholar.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying?
Are you alright?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself.
Aren't dwarves immune to lyrium's effects?
Of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs in hours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck.
Huh. Well, let me see your wares.
Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
Tome of Physical Tech. The Thorns Rose. Gold mirror. Oh yeah, I forgot to buy all those gifts. I'll get to it eventually. I don't know why I'm checking individually. I got what he was selling. Tome of Physical Technique, which gives me another ability. Perfect striking. Shield wall. Character shield becomes yeah, less damage but better defense. The Shaper's Life.
What's this? A human? Did we make these tunnels tall enough for humans? I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesha's permission. And I've heard nothing of any new patrols scheduled to leave today.
Why do you need patrols?
Don't let the comm fool you. The Darkspawn are down there, aren't they, Commander?
Either we finally have the edge, which I doubt, or the beasts are building up numbers for the next attack.
Actually, they made their move on the surface.
The surface? But I thought the vermin never went up that far except to...
Except during blights. Ancestors save us if that's what's happening.
What do you know about Paragon Bronca?
What anyone knows. She went out there with her entire house and she's never coming back.
You don't think maybe she's still there, Commander? She is a Paragon, after all.
And now she's an ancestor. No one lasts 2 years.
She was always an ancestor. Duh, she's a living ancestor. That's the whole point of a Paragon. Come on, man. Like, even I know that, and I'm a human. Are the Darkspawn only danger in these tunnels?
Of course not. Down here, you're bound to run into giant spiders,
Are the only danger,
stalkers,
yeah.
and other vermin.
Deep stalkers.
Ugly beasts they are. Walk on 2 legs, but they have the head of a worm.
Yeah, they're
Hunt in
nasty.
packs.
Basically,
Watch
like
out.
leeches
They're not afraid
with
to take on a group their own
the
size.
bodies of, like, a raptor. Are there no dwarves past this point?
A few outposts. Legion of the Dead, mostly. Fools that they are. Some scavenger types, too.
Legion of the Dead?
It's an independent company of soldiers. They accept no command but their own. Anyone who can bear arms can join, no matter his crimes or sanity. They hold a funeral when they join and swear their only goal is a glorious death.
Will you let me pass?
Into the deep roads? Not without a full unit of soldiers to back you, my friend. Or Adesha's permission to risk yourself. Orzammar can't afford to lose its citizens or honored guests on casual visits to the deeps.
But I'm a Grey Warden. Oh.
Aye, for your sake, I hope you've no reason to come here again.
Oh, I will. I will have a reason, because you know what? Here's a hint. There's a thing over there. So, you know, little tip for what's gonna happen. Just saying. Might have to head on that way. Oh yeah.
Something I can help with?
You're not gonna talk about nugs? Usually she talks about it right away.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down.
Are these things dangerous?
Gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say.
If I see any nugs, I'll send them your way.
Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Well, guess what? For some reason, we totally ignored this thing. Totally wasn't there the whole time. Or totally was there the whole time. But I shall collect you all the nugs. They're like nuggets. I believe they're only in this area, so we don't have to go down to Lowtown to grab any extra. Or Lowtown, Jesus, Dust Town. I'm calling it Lowtown, even though I'm pretty sure that's Dragon Age 2. So, I don't know why I keep calling it Lowtown. Maybe because it's just the bottom. It is the bottom of stuffs. Alda Hemley.
Higher class of midget lives here, I'll wager.
Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
News of the hour! Questions remain as to Lord Balen's involvement in King Endrin's death. Possibility of patricide scandals shocking.
Diamond Mall. Lady Dace.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Lord Belen is the voice of change and defense. Lord Harrowmont is the voice of stagnation and ruin.
I kind of agree.
Such big houses they have.
Kinda. Again, Belen is an asshole, willing to... I mean, it's not confirmed he actually killed his father, but very likely he might have. The Assembly.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balen's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
Dwarven politics.
Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
You don't recognize the Grey Warden?
Forgive me. I am so exhausted.
Especially now that I'm wearing the armor?
About the message from the gate guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
A blight is coming.
Troubling, but it will still seem distant compared to the empty throne. The Assembly is blind to all else.
Does the city not care the world is about to end?
This is their world, and it ended when Endrin died.
Oh, I was calling him Eridan. Endrin. Is there a way I could break the stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Belen or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Ferender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balen's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Okay. Vartag.
Warden, welcome. It is always a
You are
blessing
not the
for
man who
Orzammar
killed the
to
guy.
host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Belen. What news do you bring?
You know who I am?
It would be hard not to notice the Grey Warden and her eclectic entourage. I hear you seek the aid of Orzammar's finest.
I need aid against the blight.
Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now, the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
Is there a way I could help?
My prince is the rightful king, but a disappointing number of lords back the upstart Harrowmont for the throne. If you show your support for Prince Belen, he might be able to assist with your requests.
What do I need to do? Or, I thought King Endrin himself supported Harrowmont.
That hurts worst of all. That Harrowmont, would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Belen cannot trust the word of a stranger, however reputable that stranger might be.
What must I do to prove my good intentions?
Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception...
Irrefutable evidence? Which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude.
What kind of evidence?
Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes.
Oh. Where did you get the promissory notes?
That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty.
Is there someone you could report them to?
Normally, the Shapers would handle this sort of accusation. They are the scholars who manage our laws, histories, and genealogies. They are the final arbiters of all disputes in Orzammar. Unfortunately, the Shaper of Memories is the most important among them, and his grandfather was Lord Harrowmont's aunt's first cousin. Obviously, we cannot expect him to offer an unbiased opinion.
Sure. Would you say his grandfather was his aunt's first cousin? Yes, he can't be biased. He'd hold a distant relative over his duty.
I guess I can't expect you surfacers to understand the importance of family in Orzammar. The Shaper is biased, and if you want Prince Balin's help, you'll have to show where your loyalties lie. Will you do it?
I'll find Lady Dace and Lord Hemley right now.
Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at Tapster's in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
Your eyes are very, very black. Like, you have no pupils. Your eyes are just pupils.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I have a treaty obliging, actually not obligating, it is obliging. Oh my god, I can't even read. Obligating Orzammar to send aid against the blight.
That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Belen today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties.
How can I prove I'm not working for Belen?
That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Belen found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down.
Do you want me to find out why your fighters dropped out?
That would be enlightening. Though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm. Belen would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
I'll enter the proving to see why the others withdrew.
Excellent. The arena is located off the commons.
Listen, double dipping.
Talk to the proving
I might
master
be double
and tell him
dipping.
you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster.
But there's a reason why I'm double
The key
dipping.
fighters we lost were Guidon and Beisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation.
As I mentioned, I'm probably going to go with Harrowmont for the playthrough.
After the first bout, no one may
Even though
change the
personally I prefer
roster. If you need to find me
Belen.
again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern.
He's
off the
kind of
commons.
like,
There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
you know, he's the bad choice, even though, you know. He's got an open mind. It's more. I mean, obviously, it's supposed to be all gray, but there's clearly a better.
new offensive is required against the
like,
Darkspawn.
especially here. Like, there's always like the more evil choice. Lady Days.
What do you want? Ah, I suppose you're the Grey Warden everyone's talking about.
Yes, I am, Zoe.
It's fascinating the surface has an entire order dedicated to fighting Darkspawn. Down here, that's just what fighting means. But I'm sure it's more difficult on the surface. It must be much harder to find them.
Are you Lady Days?
I am. And what business would you have with me?
Oh fuck, I don't know what. Might want to look at these papers.
Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it.
Where is he? I'll bring these to him.
He is leading a Deep Roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient Tig. It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt.
How would I know where to find your father?
He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go?
Yeah, I'll leave right now.
So Balen's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
No, I just want to get into the Deep Roads before I am allowed into the Deep Roads. Yeah. Normally I come to Orzammar first to collect a specific companion, and then I stop helping. Like, I stop all progression here in Orzammar and then go to the circle, and then actually do all the stuff in the circle to get all the points. Depending. Sometimes I don't really. Sometimes I'll go to the circle, then I'll come here, and then, you know, depends on the playthrough, on who I want.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
Jesus, you scared me.
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperit. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Orta.
On it. Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last blight, and there aren't many records left.
Huh.
They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the Deep Roads.
Oh. I'm a Grey Warden. I'm not afraid of the Deep Roads.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Belen and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Bah, bah, bah. Y'all are insane. Shaper.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Zebor? Didn't know you had a name. How do you know who I am?
The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you.
Really? So you have Shale's name in it? I assume you don't have names, you just have descriptions or whatever. Could you look at these promissory papers for me?
These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperit. Where did you get these?
Vartag Gavorn gave them to me.
And he scripted these counterfeits? This is a serious crime. I will have the Ministry of Lands begin an investigation into the Gavorns immediately.
The papers are forged?
Not entirely. There were 2 promised deals, but their terms differed significantly from what is presented here. It appears the scripter altered the dates and locations of the agreements to make them identical.
What do you know about Vortag Gavorn?
The Gavorn family is a minor one, founded when a daughter of the Ferender house married down to a warrior caste man. Her brother died, leaving her family heirless. So the assembly granted him a new family name and allowed him to adopt his daughter's children as heirs. Vartag Gavorn is on record asking the assembly to bar Harrowmont from King Endrin's sick room. He's a vocal supporter of Prince Belen.
Oh, so he didn't want him speaking to the king. Is it true you're related to Harrowmont?
He is a kinsman, yes. If you count to the 6th degree of remove, I'm related to every noble lineage still represented in Orzammar. I can even trace my descendant directly to House Sigmund, which lost its tide to the Darkspawn 13 generations ago.
Can you tell me anything about Prince Belen?
The prince consulted me before his father died. He wanted to know about King Bimo, the last king to rule during a blight. I told him Bimo made many changes during his rule. The assembly was even disbanded for a 2-year period. Bimo declared that, in times of war, the warrior caste answered directly to the king, and all voting was suspended. Belen seemed quite interested.
Do you get to vote on the next king?
The Shaperit do not vote. We simply record history as it happens.
Makes sense since you're supposed to be biased. You know, history should be biased. But do you have a preference for a king?
I cannot speak my opinions. History can be changed with a careless word.
Thank you. Let's talk about something else.
I am the man to ask if you wish to access the memories of the ancestors. What is it you would know?
I would like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
I come on behalf of Brother Burkle, a cleric of Redcliffe.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
The Chantry's charities could greatly aid Orzammar.
What sort of charities do you mean?
Charities for widows and orphans. The Chantry will educate children of all castes, though. Chantry cares for widows and orphans. Chantries could provide work for the casteless.
I am not certain this is in Orzammar's best interests. Our castes have served us well, but it's possible this service could benefit our people.
There's
Very
no give
well.
a shit
We hold
about
a prayer
casteless,
meeting
though.
as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
Tell me about Orzammar's history.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
How did you lose your golem?
The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth 12 dwarves in battle, but Caridon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
Golems like this?
Yes. We have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperit about this discovery.
Where's Kal Sharok?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They
It's
sealed
way
the deep roads,
on the opposite
abandoning
side of
everyone
Overlay.
still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Forgiven you? Never mind, I should go.
Your presence here has been
Yeah,
recorded in the memories.
Kalsharok, I
wish I knew
believe,
what
is in
significance it has.
between Anderfell and Orlais. There's like a mountain that splits them, and it's there. Just how like Orzammar is in between Orlais and Ferelden. So it's like way on the opposite side of where we are right now. Books.
Let's get started.
This library always made me wish Minecraft would like allow you to have stone bookshelves, because I would love to build like a underground shape-writ like library, but because it always has to be made out of wood.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
It's like, you know what I mean? Gloves of diligence, search of a true prophet. I believe you like books, so here's a book for you.
Oh, marvelous.
Thank you indeed. Improved willpower, or more spells. Deep roads. Alright. So now we need to go turn in the pass that lets us into the deep roads. Then we'll help Harrowmont with his ordeal. I should also save. Like, one of my saves didn't get corrupted, but when I tried to load it, the game kept crashing, and I wasn't sure why. I think
News of the hour. Support Lord
like
Harrowmont
it just kept crashing, and I was afraid that I was gonna have to redo everything, like fight Flemeth and all that, all over again.
Defacing statues of the paragons. Shocking allegations abound.
But yeah, but what I did is I loaded a save from another character, and then I loaded the save of this character, and thankfully I didn't have to redo the Flemeth fight or anything.
It'll be 2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha! I'll...
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman.
Lolinar.
Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled.
Who are you?
I'm Lolinar Ivo, warrior, which is more than I can say for that useless sod.
Who was he?
Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino.
What happened?
All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of Smiths would return safely from the deep roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Ogren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Branka's honor. Then Ogren starts screaming and runs him through.
Wasn't a duel to first blood?
It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled.
Why does Ogren care so much about Branka?
She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him.
Branka was married to that drunk?
Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith. And Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation.
Why did Branka go into deep roads?
Chasing some old treasure. She was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her.
How did she become a paragon?
She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly a third. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Bronca, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name.
What were you and Ogren arguing?
It's been 2 years since Bronca left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Ogren wants to keep risking lives searching.
Who is Ogren? Did I ask this before?
Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Bronca. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Bino. If you see any guardsmen, tell them all.
I did. That was the first question I asked. That's why I was like, this doesn't sound familiar. But then again, in these games, you hear so much of the same thing over and over again. It's like, is that new? Plus, they have varying dialogue depending on if you already asked the question before, which doesn't help. Let me give you my pass, fine mine commander.
Just can't get enough of our clammy mine air, can you? Did you need something?
I am looking for Lord Dace's patrol.
I see you have his daughter's seal, so I will not stop you. But be careful. Just because the beasts are pulled back from Orzammar doesn't mean there are any fewer in the deep roads. Either we finally have the edge, which I doubt, or the beasts are building up numbers for the next attack.
Yep, I should go.
Best of luck.
We already said that. Rune plate. The reason why... Oh, cut the Cal Sherlock. Reason why I always do that for thing is because you get access to the Deep Roads map earlier than you would normally if you go for Harrowmont, which and the reason why it lets you open the main map and go to camp if you really needed it. I don't, but you know, it's always nice having that option. Yeah. Oh, well, anyways, I'll probably end the episode right here. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope stick around for next episode of Warren Question Thingy, and I'll see you then. Blah, 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 bye-bye.